Hi friends, it's Nancy from Stampin' Shout. Welcome to my video tutorial. Today is May 26, 2020. So whether you're watching me live or on my replay, go ahead and type in hi and type in your questions and comments and I'll be sure to answer them. I'm an independent Stampin' Up creative coach. I make many cards and paper crafts, and I use Stampin' Up products, and I share them with you on Facebook and Pinterest and YouTube and on my blog. I also have a newsletter that I send out exclusive tips and a free PDF and lots of information that's just for those people that are subscribed to my newsletter, and I have all that information on my blog, www.stampinshout.com. So what's going on right now is we're very close to the new Stampin' Up catalog coming out. It's next week, so we're all excited about that. And with that, there are some last chance products that are available. If you go to my blog, you can see it says last chance products, and you can breeze through them and see if there's anything that you missed and that you still want. You got to jump on it because they'll be gone in a week or less. If they sell out, they'll be gone. But tonight I wanted to show you a couple of cards that I am making with some retiring products. So let's turn the camera around and we'll get started. So I have a very pretty wedding card and a birthday card. And I am using, let me see if I can find it for you. I'm using the Stampin' Up, what's this? It's called a Piece of Cake stamp set. And then it also comes with, or it coordinates with the punch. And you know me, I love any card that I can use a punch with. It just makes it so much quicker and easier, and it's just a lot of fun. So anyways, these are the cards that we're making tonight. Before I go any further, I want to mention that anyone that shares my video or my post about my video, I enter that name into my thank you for sharing gift drawing. And last week I want to announce the winner, and that is Gail Ferguson. So Gail, if you send me your address, I will mail you a gift, and this time it's going to be a stack of 6x6 designer series paper. So I hope you enjoy that, and thank you for sharing. And I definitely appreciate whenever you share my videos. So go ahead and do that, and next week I'll announce the winner for my thank you for sharing. So let's see, get back to this. Let's bring in the supplies to make the birthday card. So I have a piece of Whisper White for the card base, and that's 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. And I have two pieces for the mat, one for the front, one for the inside, and this is Highland Heather, and it's 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then I have two stamping pieces, and then Whisper White, and this is 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Then I have a piece of designer series paper, and let me look at my notes. This is 3 3/4 by 2 inches. Then I have somewhere here, I gotta find it. I should have a strip of, I'm gonna probably have to cut a piece, a strip for this right here, and that's Lovely Lipstick, and that's 1/4 inch by 3 3/4. I'm just looking around my desk to see where it's at. Then I have a matte piece and another piece, and the matte piece is 3 3/4 by 2 1/8. And this white Whisper White rectangle is 3 5/8 by 2 inches. And then I have some scraps to stamp the cake and the little sentiment. So let me see here. Just looking one more time for that piece of, nope, gonna have to cut a new piece. So get my head together here. Let's go ahead and bring in a scrap, and we'll stamp the cake base and the cake. So I'm going to stamp that, both of those, in Memento ink. And so I just have a strip here because it's going to fit really nicely into my punch. So let me bring that cake punch builder in. And I always like to look at it to make sure I'm stamping in the right direction, so when I put my paper in, it'll be really easy to line up. I already got ink on my fingers. So I'm going to stamp the cake plate, and then I'm going to bring in one of the cake sets, but look at how many. There's flowers, and there's the dots and the stripes, and there's more flowers, and this looks like just a chocolate cake, and here's some with the icing dripping off the side, and there's the happy birthday, and then you've got all types of ornamental stamps to decorate it. You got candles and hearts and lollipops and more flowers and lots of sentiment. So this is really a versatile stamp set. So again, I'm going to look at my punch and I see the way I need to stamp my design so I can cut it out really easily. So before I do cut it out, I'm going to color this in. So I'm going to bring in my markers, and I'm using Rococo Rose for the cake plate. So I'm just going to color this in very quickly. Then for the cake, I am going to alternate on the stripes. So I'm going to use the Rococo Rose. Let's see, I have lavender, rose, lipstick, lavender, Rococo Rose, and let's see, bring in my lavender. I'm using the small end, so I'm just going to, so that's going to be Rococo, that's going to be lipstick, this big one here is going to be the lavender, it's actually Highland Heather. This little one here is going to be the rose, Rococo Rose, and this is Light Lovely lipstick. Then I also did the circles in the lipstick. And I did this little piece right here in the Rococo Rose. And then I did the cake and the Highland Heather. So all these colors coordinate with this designer series paper. I think it actually has, this has actually got pink, but I used the Rococo Rose because I wanted it just to be a little bit darker. Okay. Then I think I'm also going to bring in my little lollipop tops. And I'm using Memento in that. And for this, I just colored each one a different color. So, got one in the lavender, Highland Heather, one in the Rococo Rose, and one in Lovely Lipstick. I think I gotta fill this in a little bit better. Now I can punch them out. Whoops, sorry about that. I think I moved my paper. Just grabbing my glasses. So, just going to slide this in the punch. Punch that out. Then I'm going to bring the cake, line it up, punch that out. And then this piece I just fussy cut. We'll save that piece for our next card. So I just fussy cut this right around the lollipops. I see everyone's popping on here, so welcome. Glad you're here. So I just fussy cut that out, make that a little straighter. So now we're just gonna put this together. I do have a strip that I'm gonna cut the stamp the sentiment on, and that says "Cut the Cake," and I'm gonna do that in the Highland Heather. This is just like a 1/2 inch scrap that I saved. I save all my scraps, all the strips that you cut off when you're cutting down your card bases and insides. I save them in a cup, and they're perfect for sentiments. So we're going to cut this up in a little bit, but let's put some of this together. So I'm bringing my Tombow glue, and I'm going to go ahead and start putting this together. Ooh, a little bit too much glue there. I don't want it to slide off. So just center that on the card base. And I'm going to bring this piece in. I'm going to do this in different stages because I'll show you why in a second. I'm not going to glue that one down yet. I'm going to glue these two together. I'm going to bring in this designer series paper. I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Then I'm going to have to cut my little strip of lovely lipstick. Okay, I'm going to cut a strip really quick. That is 1/4 inch by 3 3/4. And I'm just going to actually lay that right on top of that designer series paper. Like that. Then I'm going to bring in this piece and I'm going to lay it here, and then I'm going to stamp a few hearts. And I'm going to stamp those in Highland Heather. Oops, got my fingers in the ink. So just stamp some hearts here and there. Then we're going to put the cake together. And I'm going to use dimensionals for that. So for the cake stand, I used the little teeny tiny mini dimensionals. So I'm going to use 2. I think I'm going to put 1 on each end, but I'm probably going to have to cut a mini in half. Or you could take one of your larger ones and cut it down. So I'm just going to peel the backing off of that. I trimmed my nails today. Can't do anything with them. Okay, doke. So I'm just going to position this kind of near the bottom. And then I'm going to bring in some more dimensions. I'm going to bring in 2 of the larger dimensions for my cake. And then I'm going to put that on my cake plate. I'm going to kind of slide it underneath a little bit. Just like that. And then for this, just used another dimension right on the back. Then, for my sentiment, I cut this out. Cut each one out. Actually, I'm going to trim it this way first so they're all the same. Same height, I guess that would be. And then I cut them apart. I always like to do this with the sentiments. Either cut them out or actually cut the whole sentence out, jig-jagged. And I'm going to bring in my mini dimensions. And put 1 on the back of each one. They're so tiny. And then I'm just going to kind of lay them down. Oops, my whole dimension went flying. Cut the cake. Then I'm going to put a couple of dimensions on the back and then pop that up on our card. And I remember when I was putting this together, I had a second thought. So I'm going to think about that for a second because I was actually going to add a bow. But I think not. I think this bow I made is just a little bit too big. Too big. So I'm not going to put a bow on. I love that dotted ribbon. I use it whenever I can. I think it's beautiful. Putting that right in the center. Then we're just going to attach this to our card base. then the last thing is, and I was so glad I found these. These are actually on the retiring products, the last chance. They're $3 right now, and they are the Gingham Gala adhesive back sequins. So I have them in the Highland Heather. They come in three or four colors. So I am going to use them on this card. They come in flower shapes and circle shapes, and they've got the glue, little tiny glue dot attached. And then I think I'll put a couple of those dots on this part, kind of matches my cake. And that's it. That front of the card's done. So inside, I am just going to stamp Happy Birthday. Let me find my Happy Birthday stamp. And Highland Heather. Pretty font. Love it. And then I'm just going to attach these two pieces and put it on the inside of my card. There you go. What do you think? I love those sequins. Aren't they pretty? They just, sometimes I forget about them and then it's like, no, add something. It looks so much prettier. So that's really cool. Let me show you. Hang on a second if I have it here. So there are the sequins that I was just talking about. $3, you guys, on the last chance area of the, it's on my blog. www.stampinshout.com. So also, I'm going to have a list of all the supplies that I use. So if you have any questions, just hop on over to my blog. I'll have a picture of the cards, and I will have a list of all the supplies that I use. So you don't have to worry about that. And again, this is the stamp set, piece of cake, and the punch. And the punch, didn't I say that one was on sale? $10.80 for the punch while the supply lasts. So that's really, really a good deal. Okay, let me just clear a spot here and we'll get on to this pretty wedding card. So this designer series paper that we've been using is the Best Dressed Designer Series paper. That's right there. So it's 6x6 paper and it's 48 sheets. So it's gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. So again, this is a retiring product. So if you're interested, buy it now because next week it'll be gone, gone. Okay, this one, let me bring in my supplies. So it's a Whisper White card base. And it's Highland Heather mats. And again, the mats are 5 1/4 by 4. I got one for the front, one for the inside. Then I have a piece of designer series paper, and let me look at my notes. It's 2 inches by 5 inches. And then I have a stamping piece and a little banner piece and my strip to go in the middle. And then this piece right here, this is, hang on, it's 5 inches by 2 1/2. And let me show you. I put that in the lace embossing folder. So I just lined it up. And this is how I lined it up to use the lacy part of it. So when the card is done, it's got a real nice little swoop to it. I thought that was pretty. So anyways, I did that embossing ahead of time. That's all done. Now we just have to stamp our cake. And put all these pieces together so I don't lose them. Strip. Okay, we're going to punch a cake base and a cake. And again, I'm going to use my Memento ink. And then this cake looks so pretty. It has looks like little ribbons, icing ribbons with little dots and flowers. And this was easy to color in. I just colored the ribbon in with the Highland Heather. I kind of touched the dots to add a little bit of color up there, but I you don't have to fuss too much, you just have to touch them really quick. And then I colored the base in with the what's the name of this one? Smoky Slate, light smoky slate. And I'm going to need a little, where's my banner? Here it is. A little banner for the Mr. and Mrs. And you get that stamp. I did that in Highland Heather. Punch these out. So this is a great wedding card. Just pick the colors that the bride has in her party and go with it, right? I'm going to bring in my banner punch. Get all these pieces ready. I'm going to flip this over and see how I can see the words there. Well, I know I don't want to go that far, so I'm just going to slide it, center it, give it a punch. And the same thing with this little strip of Highland Heather. And then I'm going to wait and do this when we're ready to put it on our card, so that'll tell me how long I want to make it. So just put that off to the side. That's for the inside. So I'm going to lay this piece. Uh-oh. I think I cut that too small. Oh no, I didn't. Shoo, scared myself. Thought I cut it too short. But it's not supposed to fit end to end. I want that matte piece showing. So I'm going to glue this piece down. I want to make sure that's what I did. Yep, that's exactly what I did. Glue this piece down. And then I'm going to glue this piece down. And then I'm going to lay that strip right down the middle. So I'm looking up at the top. Just like that. And I'm going to lay this piece end to end. Just like that. Then I need a piece of Whisper White. Hang on 1 second. And I need to punch a 2-inch circle. This is going to be for my cake. And this piece here is for the inside of the card, and I am going to bring in the scalloped punch, starburst punch, sorry about that, and I'm going to punch right kind of in the middle. This is not going to show when I have my card put together. And also wanted to mention that the starburst punch is also a last chance product. It's going to be going bye-bye. So this is $18, and I love it, and I'm so sorry to see it go because it fits perfectly with that 2-inch circle punch. But anyways, what are you going to do, right? So I'm going to put these two pieces together. Put that right in the center. Then I'm gonna glue these down. I didn't pop these up. Of course, you gotta put the cake the right way. Whoop, a little bit too much glue. I'm gonna wipe a little bit off. Spread it out. So I'm gonna put this right at the bottom of this circle. And I'm going to add the cake right there. Then I am going to pop this up. And I have a bow. I'll put my bow over here and my circle on the right. Bring in some glue dots. So this is going to go on our front of our card. Then we're going to add the Mr. and Mrs. banner. And so this is that little banner that we cut, and I'm just going to shorten it. Then I'm going to kind of look and see where I want it to be, and it's actually fitting quite nicely underneath all of this other stuff that we laid down. I'm going to shorten it just a little bit more. Then I'm actually going to make it narrow. So I'm going to trim the top and the bottom. And that's going to make it fit nicely on my 1/2-inch strip of the Highland Heather. So I'm going to glue these two pieces together. like that. I'm just going to attach it underneath that bow. Like that. I'll play with my bow a little bit more. Then, let me find them. I'm going to bring in some rhinestones and put them right on those cake flowers. Okay, before. Uh-oh. So there's the front of our card. Those little diamonds just make a big difference. So then, I'm going to bring in our stamping piece and our matte piece. And where's my stamp? And a Highland Heather. And I'm going to stamp our sentiment. Hang on. It says, "May your love grow sweeter with every passing year." Just gonna make sure I have it the right way. Okay. So it's Highland Heather ink. There you go. So we're just gonna attach the two of these together and then put it on the inside of our card. So if you'd like to make these exact cards, I do offer make and takes. I send out all the supplies that you need. It's all pre-cut. And we have a project sheet and step-by-step instructions. And I do that in exchange for a $35 purchase at my online store, which again is stampinshop.com. And the host code to use is right there. And this offer, I do this for 48 hours after I do a live video. So any purchases that come through, I kind of check them out and send them the make and takes with a big thank you. So see how that hole that we punched out is not even going to show. Make sure everything's going the right way. There you go. I love this lace embossing folder. So pretty. And the paper's gorgeous. So there's our wedding card and our birthday card. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed today's projects. If you did, make sure you share my video with whoever you think would be interested. Like I said, I hate to see some of these stamp sets go, but there's always new ones that are just as good. I mean, I just love the new catalog. I did show you the front of it. That's the new catalog. Can't show you the inside until next week, but you will love it. Lots of good stuff. But this is a fun stamp set because it's got wedding cakes. It's got guy cakes. You know, where's the one I was making earlier? I was making a guy cake, and so let me show you. Flip this camera. So what I like to do is in my stamp set, if as I'm designing and experimenting, I usually keep all of the pieces in here. So this looked like, what is that? A forest? What are those cakes called? But this was the piece I thought for a guy cake. Can you see that? Chocolate cake. Put some candles on there. So lots of good sentiments too. Enjoy every crumb. Count the good times, not the candles. So hate to see them go, but can't wait to get all the good stuff in the new catalog. So again, hope you liked my video. Please share it. Go ahead and ask any questions. And I think that's it. don't be shy, stamp and shout.